Meekness is not weakness. As gentleness is not the absence of strength, but the application of strength for a tender purpose. My dear sisters and brothers, meekness is not weakness, nor is gentleness the absence of strength, but gentleness is in fact the application of strength, real strength, for a tender purpose. The gospel of the day tells us about the servant of Yahweh. A bruised reed he will not crush, and he will not put out a smoldering wick. There is this favorite TV channel that I spend a little time watching now and then. National Geographic. I love documentaries. Not just the sight, but also the sound. Not only what you see, but also what you hear. And as I was there on my couch, tired as I was, watching this documentary produced by the BBC, I realized it was migration time. And literally, millions and millions of these wild animals were passing through the desert in search of greener pastures and drinking water. And there was this river. And all these animals were crossing them in a hurry. And guess who was lying, waiting for them? Huge crocodiles. And what a sight it was to see these huge crocodiles pounce upon these wild animals, more than 600 pounds, and fell them and kill them with their jaws. Horrifying as it was also awesome to watch. Such powerful jaws, they could tear those wild animals to pieces. But what caught my attention the most was that a little later I saw those very crocodiles with those powerful jaws carry their own eggs with their teeth and save them and hide them away for hatching. Meekness is not weakness, and gentleness is not the absence of strength, but the application of it for a tender purpose. Jaws that kill also are jaws that protect, save, and promote life. My dear sisters and brothers, as we go through the Magnificat, you come across the image of a powerful God who brings down the mighty from their thrones, who scatters the proud and sends the rich away empty. And we are told that he is also the God who feeds the poor and saves the weak and protects those who are weak and a tender end. And God, who is mighty, is also tender. This God, who is able to turn tables in a temple, opposing all those money changers, is also the God who is able to lend his hand to the poor and raise them up. The God who rose and lends his voice in anger to the Pharisees and the scribes is also the God whose heart is filled with compassion at seeing people hungry or in need. It is the same God who would weep over Jerusalem and whose heart would be filled with compassion seeing a young man in Naim being carried to his grave. And it is that same Christ who would weep and cry at the tomb of Lazarus, his friend. Meekness is not weakness, and gentleness is not the absence of strength, but the application of the same to a tender end. And God, who is mighty, reaches down and saves the weak and the poor. To conclude, this is real strength, being strong with the weak. But what is our experience? People are strong with the weak and weak with the strong. And so today, as we go through this Eucharist, let's pray that like our good Lord, you and I may be strong with the strong and weak with the weak, using our strength for tender purpose. Because God will not crush a bruised reed, nor is he one who puts out a smoldering wick. Because he knows that meekness is not weakness.